Alright, welcome to another video. In today's video, we are in the very nice 2012 Audi TTS. Starting off with the outward appearance of this vehicle, I definitely think that it does resemble Audi, and the way it's designed, it definitely reminds me of the Audi R8. The way this car is in the color black, I think just really goes along smoothly. In a way, I kind of see luxury every time I see the Audi emblem. Just the emblem alone, in my opinion, just really says something about the car. Whether I've been in it or driven it, I just know that it's going to be something nice and high quality in the way it's made, just because of that simple emblem that's really on the front and on the back of this car. And like I said, just the way the color that this car is in just really makes this car look a lot more sleeker. The outward appearance of this car, in my opinion, is also very low. Sitting, as far as like just standing beside it, you're already going to probably be around 2 feet taller than the vehicle. Has a very low roof line, and the car is also kind of low to the ground. Now, it's not like a lowered car that you would find in the aftermarket, but still from the factory, I think that this car is very nice and has a very nice lowered, nice aggressive appearance, but still looks very nice, smooth, and in a way kind of has a luxury look to it. Also, in the rear of the vehicle, you have a spoiler that you can actually sit in the inside of the vehicle and deploy. I'll do it right now. And you can make it go up and you can make it go down, and I think that's pretty cool. It adds downforce and stuff like that, and I'll talk more about that later on in the video once we start driving, and I'll tell you how this car drives. But I think that is a very cool feature. Now, moving on to the interior of the vehicle, I think this is a pretty nice place to be. I like the way these seats are. These seats really hug me. I mean, like I say in every video, I'm about 160 pounds, 5'9", and you know, I feel very nice in this car. You know, I don't feel too cramped. There's a lot of headroom, actually. I mean, from the outward appearance, you probably would not think that there's a lot of headroom just because the way this car looks kind of cramped, but it's really not too cramped in here. I will say that sitting in this car, though, sitting on the seats, even though they do hug me nice, this is kind of more of a rough leather, if that makes any sense to you. So by saying that, I'm saying like it's not really soft and anything. It's like almost if you ever gone to a hospital and sat in their leather chairs, it's really not cushiony. It's really firm and like that. So that is something to note about these seats. They're not the softest. It's not the most plush leather that I've ever sat in. So it's not like a Lincoln MKZ or anything like that. So it is kind of more of an aggressive leather. But other than that, these seats do feel pretty nice. And of course, once you sit down in these seats, you have the very nice steering wheel with the Audi emblem yet again right in front of you, and then another TTS badge. And I really like how this car really reminds you of what you're sitting on in, along with the seats that have the TTS stitching in them. I think that's really cool how they basically badge the car. You have that on the steering wheel, the Audi emblem, like I just said, and then you have this very nice steering wheel, easy to grab onto, a flat bottom steering wheel actually, and this is the first flat bottom steering wheel that I've ever driven. And you know, just driving it here to do the filming, it's something I would get used to. It actually does feel kind of nice. Every time I saw it in pictures and stuff like that, I never really thought or really had an opinion of it, but you know, it is something that's new, and I think that's kind of cool to have in a car if it's available. So that is something to note, that this is a flat bottom steering wheel. You also have your paddles here. You have some voice control, and I'll get to the infotainment system in this car in a second. And then behind the steering wheel, of course, you have your gauges, so your RPMs, and then you also, on your gauges yet again, in the RPM, you have your TTS badging here, and I think that's pretty cool. These gauges actually do look pretty cool, especially for a 2012, especially the white and red, I think is a nice combination that's going on with this car. The car is going to tell you which direction you're going right there. I'm currently pointed west, and I'm in park, and this isn't an automatic, so it tells you what gear you're in. You also, like I said, you have paddle shifters, so I can be in manual 1, manual 2, manual 3, depending on what road I'm on, if I really want to drive the car enthusiastically. So overall, from the driver's perspective, you do have a pretty nice view in this car. And also sitting in this car, you have this very nice navigation screen. Of course, you have navigation, you have telephone, and you have your radio. All that good stuff is right there, and right below that you have your air conditioning system. But back to the infotainment system, I think it's pretty nice. Now, actually, it is not touchscreen, which I do kind of find a bummer, because you look at it and you want to touch the screen. I actually touched it a couple of times when I first got it to the car, and then I realized that it's not a touch screen. But you do have this very nice dial on the right that allows you to scroll up and down between different things. You can turn on the radio that way. You have your radio power button right there. I just turned up the radio a little by accident, but it's a very nice system. I think it definitely gets the job done. It's not the most fanciest thing, but it's definitely, for 2012, considering the fact that this car is about 5 years old, I would expect this, and I think that it is kind of aging well, especially, like I said, from 2012. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and take this car on the road, and I'll let you guys know how it feels and how it feels as far as performance, just driving on the highway, and what it's like to actually drive this car a little more aggressively and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start it up and take it on a spin. I just hit the windshield wipers there by accident, but this does have a very nice startup. Now, it is a turbo 4-cylinder, and I'll talk more about that later once we start driving. But, you know, it's on the quiet side. It's, you know, it's not loud. The stock exhaust on here is not that loud, and, you know, it's what you expect once you hear 4-cylinder, especially with stock exhaust. I kind of expect something quiet, so it's not too much of a startup, but it does look pretty good on the gauges, seeing everything come to life, and that's pretty cool. So I currently have the car in sport mode, and we're going to go ahead and get on it, and I'll let you guys know how it feels. So I'm letting the car shift here by itself, and wow, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie, I didn't know what to expect from this car. I know it was a turbo 4-cylinder, but I didn't really know what to expect from this car, and it just really showed me what it can do. It definitely gets up, and it moves really good. And just had a Mustang go by me, but anyways, this car definitely does get up and move, and it looks great doing it. Like, it has this really elegant look on its face while it's doing this really nice sporty performance that it has. I can tell you now that, I mean, let's go ahead and turn right here, and like the car just really wants to go in sport mode. Yeah, it feels nice. Let me go ahead and shift into manual mode, and I just went down to first gear. And I like how you can really see what gear you're in. There's a nice, easy, clear to read display right behind the steering wheel. It says M1 for manual mode, or M2. You can also do that in drive mode. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on to this road in a second here and let you guys know how it feels in sport mode again. And here we go. So it is definitely a strong car, and it moves like I told you guys before. Now, as far as the exhaust note, like I kind of mentioned earlier when the car turned on, it's not really much to get excited about. It is a 4-cylinder with stock exhaust, and I have heard some good 4-cylinders out there that sound good. Usually, especially, they have aftermarket exhaust, and you know, this being a 4-cylinder with stock exhaust, there's not really much there. Getting on the gas, you can hear the turbo spool up, which is kind of cool. You hear a nice little whoosh sound going on, which I do like that factor about it, because you know, it lets you know that this is a turbo car. At least there's some type of sound going on, and I think that's really cool. But right now I'm just cruising at about 42 miles an hour, still in sport mode, and I mean, I barely put my foot down and the car still wants to go. Let's go ahead and... Very responsive, very nice. So we're dealing with about 265 horsepower, and you know, I think that feels right for about the size of this car. You get about 22 miles to the gallon city, and I think it's 31 highway. So I think this is a nice package. You know, it's similar to the Mustang EcoBoost as far as gas mileage and goes with that and the power plant. And you know, I feel like there probably would be room for this car to grow as far as in the aftermarket world, if you're into that type of stuff, as far as tuning it and whatnot, and changing up the engine and adding different stuff. But if you're not, you know, this is still a fine package from the factory, what you get. You know, I'm having, you know, a decent amount of fun, and I can tell you right now that the car does ride pretty smooth. Now, it is on the stiffer side. I would say it's around what you would expect for a performance vehicle like this. So, you know, it's not extremely smooth, but you know, it's not like really rough. I don't feel like I'm bouncing around. I am not on a smooth road, so you know, I can tell you I'm feeling the bumps, but like I just said, you know, it's decent. It's what you would expect. And sport mode really just keeps the car in the power band. I keep watching the car downshift for me, ready to go. It just wants to keep going and going and going. And I'm definitely going to keep driving this car some more. I'll let you guys know how this car does, at least in this automatic mode, and then again in the sport mode. It really is a nice car, a nice package. I think, especially since it's on the cheaper side compared to the Audi R8, that with this car, you really feel the turbos. I'm barely on the gas, and it just really got up there and went at around 3,000 RPMs. But anyways, I feel like this is a really nice package for someone who wants this type of styling and can get doesn't really have the type of money that, you know, an R8 would cost, but you still get the styling, and you do get a nice little car that does know how to move. I'm gonna go ahead and go into sport mode, manual, and I think I'm hearing actually a little bit of pops when you let off. And we're taking some turns here. Definitely, this feels nice. Really flat handling, really flat handling. Gonna go ahead and downshift. The car definitely does move. It feels pretty good. You know, I'm only doing about 45 miles an hour here, and it feels very nice and planted. Very nice. That was really nice. The car just handled those turns back there like it was nothing. I mean, you would think that I was just cruising along, honestly. And the best thing, like I just said about this car, is you get around 22 miles to the gallon in the city and 31 highway, and I think that is a really nice, perfect combo, especially for the amount of power that you're getting. I'm going to go ahead and downshift again, take this turn right here, and that felt pretty good. There's not really much body roll with this car at all, and you know, 265 horsepower, that might seem a lot, especially compared to like muscle cars now, because now we have cars doing 707, the Demon doing 840 horsepower. It might not seem like a lot, but for the size of this car and the weight, I think, like I said earlier, this is really just perfect weight for this car. I'm going ahead and drive it some more. Now I'm going to go ahead and let the automatic shifters do everything for me. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, so I definitely am hearing like a little bit of pop coming off the exhaust, which I do think is cool. So I do think if you got an aftermarket exhaust for this car, you would definitely be able to bring that out, and it would sound really cool, because like it lets off the shift and boop, boop, boop. It's a really cool sound that it got going on. Go ahead and keep going here. Feels really nice. Brakes in this car are pretty decent, you know. Feel it in the sport mode right there. I just braked and it just downshift for me, and then it's ready to go shooting out of this turn really nicely. Alright, so wrapping up my time with the Audi TTS, I can tell you that this is a very nice little package that you get here for, I think, a very nice price. If you want to check this car out, you can head on over to Capital Ford here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Really nice guys. They'll work out deals for you. I think, like I said, this is a very nice car, and if you have the opportunity to get into it, I would not hesitate at all, because you have a very nice interior, very nice styling, and you definitely have some nice little power with the car, and I think that is very fun. Like, this puts a smile on my face right here, because it is a nice, really nice package. I mean, 22 miles to the gallon, 265 horsepower. And you can probably get the exhaust going if you have to add an aftermarket, or if you just want to leave it how it is. You know, you still have a phenomenal car. So like I said, guys, a great car. If you like the video, as always, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in another video.